I was blessed to be the first one to hold my daughters when they were born. At that moment, it was obvious they were the most beautiful creations I'd ever seen. They stole my heart forever at that moment.
Paul Rutledge. Well, I guess to explain him in a nutshell, he's extremely nerdy and really weird, and he likes to show us really weird YouTube videos, and we like to have ninja fights, and I mean, if I had to show you footage, I mean, the footage is pretty awesome goodness. But yeah, I mean, he's kind of like, we made him into a girl because, I mean, he loves little girls, and so, I mean, you can feel sorry for him. I mean, you can take the side you want, but I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, he's become a girl because he wants to become the girl.
One of my favorite memories of me and my dad is when we flew to North Carolina to our cousin's beach house. We sat first class while my mom and sister sat not first class. And it wasn't anything super special, but we had just a fun time cracking each other up and just getting to talk and be together.
When I was little, I used to wake up really early on Saturday mornings and sneak into the living room, and my dad would let me crawl up in his lap, and he would hold me while we just watched hunting and fishing shows for hours until my mom woke up.
So when I was 6 years old, I got a bicycle, and whenever they decided that it was time to take the training wheels off, my dad took them off and then wanted to test the bike to make sure it was good to go. And so he got on my tiny little girl pink bicycle and started riding it down our dirt road and was pedaling really quickly, and it just turned over on top of him, and he was like laying on his back pedaling, and the wheels were above him, and it was hilarious, and I still crack up thinking about it today.
One of my favorite memories about being with my dad was when the song When We're Together by Mark Harris off of Courageous came on, and we just started dancing like the father and daughter did on the movie, and I think that's something so special that I will never forget.
So the funniest thing that's happened about Rahel is they had been home with us for about 3 months, and I took them swimming, and chances are if you look at her right now, she's already smiling because she knows the story that I'm going to tell. But Iyasu went into the deep end off of the slide, not knowing how to swim, having never been in a swimming pool, while I was changing Evie's diaper, doing something, and lifeguard blows the whistle. I turn around, jump in and start swimming to Iyasu to save his life, and by the time I get back to the edge of the pool, Rahel had jumped in to the deep end to save Rahel, also having never been in a swimming pool and not knowing how to swim. So I saved 2 of my children at one time.
I respect my dad because he puts up with me and 2 other women 24/7, and he treats me how I should be treated by a future husband.
My dad works so many hours, and he's constantly in pain, and no matter how much pain he's in, or how many hours he's worked, or how tired he is, he comes home and he is so great to our family, and he still comes out and is a part of us, and he's like growing our lives and making a very big influence.
He raises and provides 4 or 5 children, and he teaches us to do like the best we can. So that's why I respect my dad.
I respect my dad because I know he always has my best interest at heart, and he tells me he loves me, and he tells me I'm beautiful, and he prays for me every morning and every night, and he sets a godly example for what I should look for in my future spouse.
He's really hardworking, and he always kind of has worked his hardest to work for his family and provide food, you know, on the table. I'm sorry, provide.
Michaela, or M2, or Kayla, or all the names that we like to call you as our other daughter, you're such an inspiration to us and everybody around you. The huge trials and difficulties that you've overcome is just an example of who you are and who you represent. And you always have been and will be an inspiration to those around you. So keep that spirit and keep that heart, and that's what makes you beautiful.
But what makes my daughters even more beautiful is their heart for others, missions, and for the Lord. Our saying in our family is protect the elderly, the children, and those who can't defend themselves, and they do that. We also say, remember who you are and whose you are. You're an Adkins, represent the name well, and you're the Lord's, be his reflection. Proverbs 31:30 says, charm is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And that's the true beauty of my Claire and my Mary.
The question is, what makes your daughter beautiful? I knew you were beautiful from the day you were born, but as you're growing up to be a beautiful young lady, physically, you look like your mother, thank goodness. So I'm glad about that. But your inner beauty is what makes you so special, your passion, your desire to be successful whatever you do. And I love when you sing, it makes me smile. I love when you dance, but I love the way you love the Lord, and it's how important that is to you in your life. So happy Valentine's Day, and I love you, Lacey. Bye.
Michaela Rose, be your own kind of beautiful. You've always had a sweet smile and a tender heart and a gentle love for others, just like your mother. You're not afraid to get dirty, but you still like to be a girl. And I love that about you, and that's what makes you beautiful. So, be your own kind of beautiful.
The thing that I would say to encourage her in her walk with Christ is that she's extremely gifted and talented, and that God can and will use those things for his glory if you allow him to. I love you, Rahel.
Paul Rutledge, I'm glad you are the man of the house, and I'm also glad you are have the feminine side of the house.
Love you, Daddy.
I love my dad so much, so love you, Daddy.
I love you, Daddy.